Ladies and gentlemen, again welcome to our mind-blowing analysis here on Jenga Kenya YouTube TV. Jenga means to build, and Kenya is our beloved country. Building takes many phases. There is the clearing of the site, the laying of the foundation, and even the construction itself. So whichever phase that you are in, we are still building. So welcome all to Jenga Kenya YouTube TV. Where we lay the foundation of our nation. Let's talk, because the moment we stop talking, we start fighting.
Najua nimelaumiwa mara nyingi sana kwa mambo ya matoleo kanisani. Ninyi mnajua.
No state officer or public servant shall participate in public contributions or harambee going forward.
Wakati tunamtolea Mungu, hatumpatii binadamu. Si ndio? Matoleo tunayotoa sio kwa sababu tunampatia Bishop Mwai. Hatupatii congregation hii, tunampatia Mungu. Mimi mwenyewe nitatoa milioni 20 kwanza.
Welcome to our mind-blowing analysis about the paradox of President William Ruto's donation and the reality of joblessness in Kenya. Last weekend, President William Ruto, Kenyan president, donated 20 million Kenyan shillings towards the construction of a church. He went further by coupling it up with a pledge of 100 million more, and this has really raised eyebrows. These gestures, aimed at supporting a religious institution, comes just days before a major gathering of job seekers looking to go overseas for manual labor, as promised by the president during his last church visit himself. Now, this scenario, where a significant sum is donated to a religious cause, while thousands of Kenyans struggle to find jobs at home, presents a stark contradiction that is hard to ignore. Many are left questioning, why should the president allocate over 120 million Kenyan shillings to a church while there is no adequate job creation or meaningful opportunities for his people? The disparity between government spending and the immediate needs of its people highlights a critical issue: unemployment. While the government touts efforts to solve unemployment by encouraging Kenyans to seek work abroad, many are beginning to see this as an exacerbation of a deeper issue: the exploitation of labor in exchange for meager wages. But here is the reality, ladies and gentlemen.
Na ndio tumepanga mambo manne. Ya kwanza, mimi nimetangaza ya kwamba tuna reform pale Ministry of Labor, pale Foreign Affairs, tuwe na bilateral labor agreements with many countries. Germany wameniuliza wafanyikazi, Marekani wametuuliza wafanyikazi, Ugaibuni wametuuliza wafanyikazi, Canada wametuuliza wafanyikazi. Tuko na nafasi karibu 1,000,000 ya vijana wa Kenya wanaweza kufanya kazi, watuletee madola hapa Kenya. Kwa sasa tunapata dola bilioni 4 kila mwaka kwa wale wa Kenya wanafanya kazi nje. We need another 1 million Kenyans to work outside this country so that we can use our labor to grow our economy and to change the fortunes of our young people.
It is painful irony that while the Kenyan government celebrates the benefits of overseas remittances, now surpassing the income from traditional exports like tea and coffee, it fails to create viable long-term job opportunities within the country. Instead, the government seems to be exporting labor as a solution to unemployment. For many Kenyans, this system feels less like a solution and more like a continuation of modern-day slavery. The promise of manual jobs abroad, often in harsh and degrading working conditions with little pay, exposes the dark underbelly of Kenya's current economic model. These workers leave their homeland in search of survival, ladies and gentlemen, working tirelessly in foreign countries while sending back remittances that are now propping up the Kenyan economy. But one will ask, is this truly the path to growth for a nation? Is exporting labor the best way for Kenya to grow? Some may argue that overseas remittances are an essential source of foreign income for Kenya, but we must ask, is this the best way for the country to grow? Relying on sending citizens abroad to work for low wages under poor conditions seems like a temporary fix rather than a sustainable solution to Kenya's unemployment problem. Instead of creating robust industries and opportunities for people within the country, the government appears content to outsource labor, and this continues to create an economy built on dependency rather than innovation. This practice perpetuates a cycle where the country depends on foreign countries to provide jobs for its citizens, thus stifling any true creative or industrial growth at home. In this model, Kenya risks becoming stuck in a state of brain drain and the export of its most valuable resources, its people, rather than developing its own economic system to keep them in country and allow them to flourish. But is brain drain justifiable or a lost opportunity for the nation? The issue of brain drain cannot be ignored in this context. Many young, educated and skilled Kenyans leave the country in search for better paying jobs, often in countries that offer a higher standard of living. Is it justifiable for Kenya to leave home for a job that pays 40,000 Kenyan shillings in a foreign land? In many cases, this is the only viable option for those who cannot find work locally, where opportunities are limited or even poorly remunerated. However, why should this be the case? Why should Kenyans have to leave their country to earn what they should be able to earn at home? The exodus of talents from Kenya is a failure of the system, a failure to create the conditions necessary for locals to thrive. This is not a question of individual choice. It is a matter of survival, ladies and gentlemen. Survival. What lies ahead for Kenyans, ladies and gentlemen? As thousands of desperate Kenyans line up in hopes of securing an overseas job, there is a deep sense of hopelessness surrounding the job market at home. If the government continues to focus on labor export as the main solution to unemployment, where does this leave the millions of Kenyans who remain at home seeking opportunities? In this context, we must ask, where is the hope for job creation within Kenya?
Na ni lazima tuwe na mpango ya vile tutapanga ajira ya hawa vijana. It will not happen by accident. It will not happen through guesswork. We must have a deliberate, intentional, practical plan on how we will make sure that there are jobs for our young people. Ni kweli ama si kweli?
The promises made during campaigns to tackle unemployment and create jobs are beginning to ring hollow. Can the government really honor its pledges to the people? Without a fundamental shift in the approach to economic growth, focusing on creating meaningful and well-paying jobs locally, Kenyans may continue to be left with no option than to seek out opportunities abroad, fueling the brain drain and reinforcing a system of dependency. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, Kenya as a nation is at a crossroads. At the heart of this lies a critical question for the future of Kenya. Can the country continue to rely on exporting its labor to sustain its economy?
Na ndio tumepanga mambo manne. Ya kwanza, mimi nimetangaza ya kwamba tuna reform pale Ministry of Labor, pale Foreign Affairs, tuwe na bilateral labor agreements with many countries. Germany wameniuliza wafanyikazi, Marekani wametuuliza wafanyikazi, Ugaibuni wametuuliza wafanyikazi, Canada wametuuliza wafanyikazi. Tuko na nafasi karibu 1,000,000 ya vijana wa Kenya wanaweza kufanya kazi, watuletee madola hapa Kenya. Kwa sasa tunapata dola bilioni 4 kila mwaka kwa wale wa Kenya wanafanya kazi nje. We need another 1 million Kenyans to work outside this country so that we can use our labor to grow our economy and to change the fortunes of our young people.
Or is it time to focus on creating opportunities at home? While remittances provide much needed income, they are not a solution to the systemic issue of unemployment. The government must make bold moves to invest in infrastructure, local industries, and policies that create sustainable jobs rather than sending its people abroad to work in conditions that perpetuate poverty and even exploitation. Kenya stands at a crossroads. The road it chooses, one that invests in its people and creates opportunities for them to thrive locally, will determine whether it remains stuck in the cycle of dependency or rises to become a true innovative and self-sustaining economy. The future of Kenya lies in the hands of its government and its people. But the question remains, will the government step up to the challenge and honor its promises, or will the people continue to be left with no choices but to seek survival outside their own country? As always, your thoughts are important, so please share them in the comment section below. Like, share, and hit the notification bell to keep this conversation going. If you have watched us to this end and you haven't subscribed to our channel, Jenga Kenya YouTube TV, it is your moment, dear lady, dear gentlemen. I have been your host, Shadrach Bwire Kakai, and you have been watching a deeper analysis about the paradox of President Ruto's donation and the reality of joblessness in Kenya. See you in our next video.